which means we got a lot of interesting guests, and we are leading off our morning show by bringing in a good friend of ours and someone who we have unfortunately not caught up with, but we are making up for lost time. Neo Pineda, of course, doing great work in the private school system, and that's why I know Sabrina was inviting him on here because, of course, as Guam's educational community is making all sorts of preparations for a return to face-to-face learning, at least in part, we thought we'd bring our buddy Neo in there, but Neo, and that's funny. I've never actually addressed you by your first name because I've known you ever since, way back at the days of FB Leon Guerrero. So I've always called you Coach, Mr. Pineda, and everything. Before we get into the matters of education, your picks for the Super Bowl, because you've always been one of the biggest football fans I know.
Man, right now I'd like for first of all, good morning everybody. Good morning, Jason, Andy, Sabrina. Nice to have. Thank you for having me on. But your question is, right now I have a kind of a spot for Aaron Rodgers to at least win one more.
Right on.
So I'm gonna go with Green Bay to make the Super Bowl and hopefully win it.
Very good, smart choice too. Probably the hands-on favorite to win the MVP. I know Andy still kind of got separation anxiety from Tom Brady this year, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, you're with New England, Andy.
Yeah. It's kind of a rebuilding year. They've got some things to work on, but who's your team, Neo?
Well, my brother and I, we've grew up ever since with the Dallas Cowboys, and we watched. In fact, we the past couple of years we would go to Dallas and watch a couple of games. So
wow.
Yeah, and like you, it hurts every time, we get. Out of contention, and then of course Dak got hurt, and so, but we're diehard Cowboys fans. Obviously, they're out of the playoff contention. So right now, for me personally, I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Very nice. Well, Sabrina is actually ride or die Cowboys. So whether they're 16-0 or 2-14 and everything like that, she's always about the Cowboys.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they'll get back there. We'll see.
Well, of course,
they've got everything they need, really. They've got the quarterback, the running back. They've got some, playmakers on the outside. They've got a great coach. It's just a matter of putting all that together. And, Coach, about that. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not putting it out there on the field, it doesn't really equate to wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with you, Andy, it must kind of hurt that Tom Brady is having all that success with Tampa. He's doing a phenomenal job at his age, man.
I still think he's the best quarterback the league has ever seen. And it wasn't a system thing that he's successful. There's a reason, because he puts the work in, he studies. He's not fast. He's not, big, strong. He doesn't have that cannon of an arm, but he's got the mental aspect, and it shows that, hey, put him in a new team. The first few weeks were a little rough, but they figured it out. So, hey, he's going to go on and do Tom Brady things, but I'm more worried about what the Patriots are going to do next season.
Right. I agree.
Well, this does make gentlemen for the perfect segue because, of course, Coach, you've been doing fantastic work with the private school system, and certainly athletics are just one component of what I'm sure are, a nonstop barrage of questions that, parents, even the students themselves and stakeholders have and everything. So what has been the tempo as you prepare to, again, return to in-classroom learning for at least a certain portion of your student body?
Yeah, we were fortunate that before the lockdown, we had about a week where we kind of tested our hybrid learning educational system. So we really liked it, and we needed to tweak some things here and there. So if and when the governor decides to open the school, give the permission for us to open school, we'll probably stay with that hybrid learning where the students will come in every other day, and one cohort will come in on certain days, another cohort comes in another day, and then every other Friday they'll be coming in. So and then we sent out a survey, and man, about 65% of our parents want their kids to go back to school.
Wow. And
you know what? I just met with a parent yesterday, and we're all social beings, and it was heartbreaking to hear what his daughter was going through. But I think a lot of it has to do with just staying at home and not being able to hang out with their friends and just having that social aspect. So even though our online distance learning has been pretty successful and we really like the model, there's no substitute for us getting together. And I think that's with us, all of us, whether we're young or old, we just need that social aspect. We need that human factor where we need to see each other face to face. So we're hoping that we don't get a spike, we don't get a surge. We're praying for that. And then we're hoping that the governor will do, in fact, open the schools up, and then we can get into some sort of normalcy for the second half of the school year.
Right, Neo, the governor, I think it was last week, she had signed, the week before, she had signed the executive order allowing for the return of face-to-face instruction starting January 18th, which I believe is a holiday.
Martin Luther King Day. Yeah.
Right, and so are you guys looking at possibly restarting face-to-face around that time?
Yes, in fact, we're ready. If and when she approves of that, I know, I did see that executive order, and when she gives the final approval saying, hey, let's go, we're ready to open. And we've already sent a memo out to all our parents for those that want to, have the option to come in face to face. We're ready to go. We're excited to go. I think our teachers are also excited to go. It's been very, very tough for our teachers to, and they're doing a phenomenal job. It's very, very tough for them to teach without that face to face. And Zoom can only, you can only Zoom for so long, for these kids, especially at the elementary level. So, our kids are excited, and I know our teachers are excited. My daughter is a senior year, who's in her senior year, is excited. Man, Dad, when are we going to open school? When are we going to open school? So, we will open definitely as soon as we get the final approval for us to go.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are ready to go. Can you tell us then what students will expect when they return?
Yeah, I think there'll be, like I said, we had over a week to test our system, to test our protocols and our standards, and so it was quite successful. Again, there's certain things that I think we needed to tweak. We only had like a week, but at least we did have that. And so they're gonna expect the same thing: temperature taking. Again, half of the school will be coming on certain days, the other half will be coming on certain days. Social distancing. In our classrooms, we're only taking half of what we normally, 14 students per classroom, as opposed to the regular 28 or 29 students that we normally have. They're gonna be put in their pods during lunchtime, and we're gonna monitor them. If they're sick, we have an isolation room, we have a nurse, full-time nurse. So all of that is in place. There's an entrance, there's a one-way entrance, there's a one-way exit. Likewise with when they drop on and off their kids. And normally we allow our kids to stay here as long as possible, after school, for practices, for performances, whatever, even just to hang out. I would rather they be here than somewhere else, right? Because we're always here anyway. So if they want to play basketball, lift weights, use the soccer field, do extra work, go into the library and do extra work. Hey, we're all here, it's fine, I'd rather be here. But because of this situation, they have to leave by no later than 3:30. So, again, we don't have after school care like we normally do. But again, that's all due to the situation that we're in. So those are the same things that they'll be expecting. And we did have an orientation at the beginning of the school year. And we had a question and answer with the parents, and they're all satisfied with what we're doing. And they know already what to expect, both the parents, faculty, staff, and students especially.
Will you still, because my son attended St. Paul's, I want to say when he was in kindergarten and 4K, and I would walk him to class. Is that something that parents are going to be allowed to go on campus, walk their kids to the classroom, or
yes,
that still will be allowed? Yeah,
we still allow it. Obviously, we don't want them to stay, but we, especially the younger kids, primary kids, K3 through K5, we allow the parents to come in, at least, give them a chance to be with their child, get them familiarized and comfortable in the environment. But then we ask them if they can leave as soon as they're comfortable. If they're not, then we're going to ask them to, at least go outside, calm their kid down if they need to, and then come back in. But we didn't have any problems with that issue, and a lot of parents were very, very accommodating, and they really just kind of left their child there, and then they left because they kind of understand what that we're trying to prevent some of the things that are happening, and we have to follow strict protocols because of that. And I just want to say, this pandemic just really changed our lives, kind of like 9/11, right? Mm-hmm. So so we're kind of like, as you all know, and all of you we're all experiencing this, the whole island, businesses, households, whatever. Just the difference of how we used to run our lives back before, and now what's kind of like everybody says the new normal. So we're learning as we're going as well. But what I'm happy for is the science is out there. We need to wear our mask. We need a social distance, get vaccinated, and so on and so forth, so that we can, fight this disease, fight this virus.
Yeah, Neo, have you talked to your staff and faculty about vaccinations? And a lot of administrators are taking polls to see how many of their staff are willing to get it. Have you done anything like that?
We haven't, but I will say this, that they need to get vaccinated. And as soon as they're allowed to, because I just checked I think the last one is like 60 years and older are the only ones right now, and the healthcare workers. Is that correct?
Yeah, and essential workers.
Right, and then there was a rumor that teachers will probably be next because of the fact that the governor wants to open up the schools. So when in fact that happens, then our teachers, and they have no problem with that. They do. I don't see anybody that has pushed back on that. Everyone that I've talked to want to get vaccinated. So I don't think I have to order them to. I think they will voluntarily want to do it.
Coach,
that's what we like to see.
Question. So much of what you provide, and the experience and the relationship that you build, not only with the students themselves but with their families, is delivering a proper Christian education to these kids. And because you're a private school, a lot of that is not only the theology classes, but also having service during certain significant days and everything like that. How is the fact of being able to hold actual services in the sanctuary and in the chapel, and how have you had to kind of like work around that, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, we had to cancel chapel. So we used to have chapel every Friday, but we had to stop doing that because of the pandemic. Excuse me. And so that's not going to be an issue. But as far as our theology and being able to still have our religious classes there, we still have our Bible classes, and in all of our core subjects and all of our subjects have biblical integration in it. That was part of our accreditation. Mm-hmm. That's mandated by our ACSI accreditation. So I don't know if you know, but we are dual accredited with WASC and ACSI. So, but part of ACSI is you have to have biblical integration in all of your classes, not just Bible class. So that's all in there. That hasn't affected our mission at all because of that. But unfortunately, we did have to cancel chapel until we get back to normal.
Okay.
You mentioned 3:30, right? Is the time when everybody should be off of the campus. Having said that, are you not going to be allowing for, I guess, extracurricular activities, clubs, and also athletics to continue?
Yeah, that's a separate issue. Again, I know IIAAG are working together. IIAAG working with the schools together to try to get interscholastic going. For me, my academics for me come first, you know, and I understand the athletics part, but they got to get IIAAG has to guarantee so many things before for me to get athletics going, and that's going to be a tough issue. I don't know how that's going to work out. I as a coach want athletics to begin. I want interscholastic sports to begin. However, you know, safety comes first. And I read an article from Angel Callagay. I don't know if you guys saw that on the Post and Guam PDN, and he brought up a lot of great questions. He posed a lot of great questions before athletics should start. And I think until we can answer that, I think we need to just, you know, pause and see if we can take care of all that before we can restart athletics. So all the clubs, you know, unfortunately, Sabrina, that's kind of put on hold. And right now it's just academics. We're trying to get our kids to master the content standards that they need to get to the next level. And that's our mission. That's what we want to do this year. And that's something that I've stressed to all the teachers. We've got to get them mastery to get to the next level. We don't want to just have, you know, we don't want them coming out here without any knowledge this year. And that's, and I'm glad that even when we shut down early of second semester, we were still able to provide the content standards and the knowledge that the kids needed to get to the next level. So that's what we're doing right now. So I think as much as we want to give all those other services to our kids, right now the concern and the focus needs to be on their academics.
All right.
Neo, you mentioned 65% of your parents are ready to get the kids back to school. But that other 35% that just aren't comfortable, maybe there's someone at home, a grandmother, grandfather, that they don't want the kids bringing this back. Are you looking at maybe keeping some of these online resources that you have just so people have that option and supplementing the in-person teaching?
Yeah, Andy, absolutely. So at the beginning of the year, we actually gave that option. We gave them the online distance learning and the hybrid learning. We understand, you know, that parents still concerned about, you know, contracting this virus. So we were able to give that option. So we will continue that option. And like I said, we kind of started that model in January of last year. And so I'm glad that this year we were able to tweak it and actually made it a lot better. We spent money on getting Zoom. And so that, you know, Zoom is great. We had Google Meets, but it didn't have the same capability as Zoom. So we still have that option, Andy, for the parents and students that still want to do the online learning. And then at the same time do the hybrid. So we're going to continue that and give them that option. But now, because there's hybrid learning, it's going to be tweaked a little bit. So now they can actually Zoom into their class, you know, while the teacher is lecturing, ask questions, you know. And so, you know, Zoom is such a great platform. And, you know, we're very, very fortunate to have it, you know, and you can see what's happening here even right now. So we are still offering that. And I think it's going to be a great experience for both, whoever decides to take the face-to-face or the online distance learning.
All right. Thanks a lot, Neo, for coming on and giving us a progress report with what's happening at St. Paul's. We really appreciate your time.
I got one final question, because we started, Coach, with football. We're going to end with football, right? And, you know, athletics and, you know, has been such a big part of the St. Paul experience. And, you know, Andy and I, in covering your school for so many years, have had so many good memories and so many classic games about, you know, the Warriors competing for championships and, you know, going out and representing the community. And that is such, again, a big part of the experience there. When are we going to see, as the man with the vision, when are we actually going to see St. Paul's field a football squad? Because I say, you know, with you at the helm and everything, they got a heck of a running back and quarterbacks coach.
You know, I don't know if you guys know, but our second year at St. Paul, we did combine with GCC. And,
that's right.
I don't know if you guys remember that. Yeah, second year of football, which was GCC's last year as a high school. We combined with them. We actually won one game. we had like 20 guys. But we had some guys from St. Paul and from GCC who wanted to combine and play. We didn't have any equipment, so we used GCC when we played. We beat Guam High at that time, but we lost to everybody else. It was so funny. But you know what? There's plans. Honestly, there is plans, and so we'll see. But I do have some plans to start St. Paul football team, and hopefully maybe if we can start it. Maybe we can grab all the other private schools to join with us and just call it Team United or something. But that would be a great that would be so great, and then be able to compete and have all the other private schools that have an opportunity to be part of the football league. So so Jason, just let me know, we're ready to. There are plans. When it'll start, I don't know.
You did win the one game, so you modeled the team after your Cowboys, so that's cool.
Ooh.
Oh my God, that hurt, Andy. That hurt. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I saw an opening. I had to go for it.
That's Andy Wheeler, ladies and gentlemen, the master of the parting shot.
I'll be signing off now.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, Sabrina, Andy, and Jason for having me on. Stay safe, okay, and I'll be looking forward to hearing you guys, in the mornings as well. All right. God bless.
Thanks, Coach.
Take care.
Always good talking to you, Coach.
Okay, we're gonna
thank you.
we're gonna get to our next.